Hi everyone, this is Athena from Courage Coaching. I hope you're doing well. If you are new to my channel, then please feel free to click on the subscribe button if you would like to get notifications for any new videos that I make. In today's video, I wanted to talk about the recovery process of healing from the effects of a narcissistic mother. Now, what I wanted to talk about in particular in regards to this recovery journey is the first stage of this recovery journey, which is all about accepting that our mother is narcissistic. I believe that the acceptance stage is one of the most difficult parts of this recovery journey, because if you aren't able to fully reach this stage, then you will not be able to continue recovering and starting the grieving process. Now, the first stage is accepting that your mother had these limitations and allowing yourself to grieve the fact that you didn't have an emotionally present mother, to allow yourself to grieve the fact that your mother wasn't able to meet your childhood needs. But acceptance means that you fully accept that your mother isn't going to change, that your mother is the person that she is, and you have to stop hoping that one day she will change and be the mother that you so desperately want. And then after that comes the grieving process. The second stage of recovery is actually starting to separate yourself from your mother psychologically, creating distance in order to heal and finding ways to reframe the negative messages that she has passed on to you. And these negative messages will be the inner critic that you have. So the inner critic is the dialogue that you have with yourself. The third stage of recovery is working on your authentic sense of self. Now, when we have a mother who is emotionally absent, emotionally immature, who is controlling, who is abusive, who is narcissistic, we lose our sense of self. We don't know who we are because we live to please our mother. We live to meet our mother's needs, not the other way around, which is what should have happened. So it might be that we believe that we are rescuers or people pleasers because we constantly had to cater to our mother's needs in order to receive any kind treatment or any scraps of love. So we do not know who we really are apart from serving our mother. So we need to rediscover who we are. And this comes after separating ourselves from our mother, creating psychological distance, setting boundaries. And this is something that you can do with a therapist or a coach, as long as you understand that this process is about you and it's not about anybody else. It's not about your mother. Now, the fourth stage of recovery is dealing with your mother in a healthy way. So changing that relationship if you can. So it may be a new relationship where you continue to set boundaries. It will be seen in a different light because you will have gone through the acceptance. You will have gone through the grief. You would have learnt to reframe the negative beliefs that you have held because of what your mother said to you. And only then will you be able to have a different relationship with your mother once you have done all the previous steps that I mentioned. Lastly, you have to be aware that when we grow up with an emotionally immature mother who has many narcissistic traits, it may be the case that we have also picked up a couple of these traits ourselves. So for instance, because we didn't get our emotional needs met, because we didn't get love and attention, and we weren't soothed, we will still crave these in a desperate way in our present as adults because we didn't get these needs met as a child. Now we need to work on these needs. We need to do inner child healing. We need to give ourselves the love that we didn't get. And unless we do that, and unless we are accountable for ourselves, and unless we are able to help ourselves heal, we won't be able to then have kids of our own and not pass on some of these traits to them. For some of us, it could be that we choose not to have children because we realize that the recovery journey is a long one, it's a tough one. We may still live with some of our symptoms. We will still have anxiety. We will still feel really stressed in situations that most people don't. The decision to have a child is completely up to each individual who has had a traumatic past. You could end up being a brilliant mum because you refuse to do the things that you learnt in your childhood. However, some things are unconscious, and unless we bring them to our consciousness, we will repeat them. So this stage is very important, especially if you want to create a family of your own. Now, I would like to get you guys to ask yourselves, have you fully accepted that your mother has narcissistic traits and was neglectful and hurtful towards you? In order to know whether you have truly accepted this, and I'm not just saying cognitively accepting it, so reading about it, listening to the traits that I've mentioned and going, okay, yeah, mum's actually like that. That's already the first step, and that's really, really good. But to actually fully accept this means that you feel it in your body, that this will bring tears to your eyes, that this will really, really hurt. And you have to stop hoping that your mother will change. So I'm going to give you a list of questions you can ask yourselves. And if you can relate to any of these, or if you see in these questions that you are still doing some of these, then it means that you might need to work on this a little bit harder. So the first one, and a very important one, is, do I continue to wish and hope that my mother will be different each time I speak to her? So do you keep hoping that your mother's going to change and be the mother that you've always wanted? That's number one. Number two, have I accepted my mother for who she is? Have I accepted that she will never change? That's also a tough one, and it goes hand in hand with hoping that one day she might be the mother that you desperately wanted. Number three, do I still have expectations of my mother? Do I still expect that my mother will act like a mother and do the things that I need? Number four, do I look to other people to meet my emotional needs, especially the needs that weren't met in my childhood? So obviously, not having had a healthy mother means that you will feel a sense of emptiness and you will want to fill this void. And most people will do this by using substances, by having addictions, or by attracting certain partners which may resemble your family of origin, so may have similar traits to your mother, and you are continuing to try and fix that failed relationship with your mother through your partner. This is very important. So are you getting your emotional needs met by somebody else? If you are, then that means you are not really dealing with what is going on here. Number five, am I looking for a relationship, so another person, to actually replace my mother, to give me the things that I didn't have in my childhood? Lastly, and this is an important one, am I finally relying on myself to meet my own emotional needs? Do I have the strength to feel good about myself? Do I have the strength to nurture myself, to love myself, to do what is right for myself? These are important things you need to ask yourself. If you have reached the stage where you are looking after yourself, you are making self-care a priority without needing anybody else to do this for you, then you are already at a very good stage, because this means that you can actually start the grieving process. You can actually start grieving the pain of not having had a healthy mother. And if you have also managed to stay in a relationship which is healthy, if you have a partnership where your partner feels like a beautiful additional part of your life, not somebody that you are addicted to, not somebody that you are heavily dependent on for your emotional well-being, they are just an additional part of your life that brings you joy. This is important. If you've managed to do that, then good for you. Again, this will help you start the grieving process, because you will be in a stable relationship which is healthy, but you won't be in a relationship where you are demanding that your partner meets all the needs that you didn't have when you were a child. So this is also a very good way for you to start the grieving process. That is the end of the video today. I hope this made sense to you. If you have any questions at all, then please feel free to send me an email at courageisallyounneed@gmail.com. I wish you all the best on your healing journey. I know how tough it is to not have had a healthy mother, because I've been there myself. It is very, very painful, but you can do it. I have gone through these stages of recovery. They take it out of you, I can tell you, but when you finally reach that last stage, you feel so much stronger, so much better. You feel like a weight is lifted, and it's very, very important to reach that stage in order to have a better life, in order to be happier and to prioritize your self-care. If you would like to leave a comment, please do. I'd love to hear your experience. If some of you have already gone through some of these stages of recovery from healing from a narcissistic mother, I'd also love to hear your experience. That is the end of the video today. Thank you so much for listening and for watching, and I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.